She texted me first thing this morning,
Did she wake you up?
and I called her. She didn't answer. Then she called me, and I was with Judge Rush, so I couldn't answer her.
Tag you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
We do a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. We'll wait a couple minutes for Kim.
She doesn't have a camera to use or anything, I don't think.
Use your phone again.
Right.
They don't want my picture in the paper anyway. I think they're going to open up another shelter, maybe one of the schools.
Are they? I was wondering.
On the south side, I called Jeff Daniels, and he said the city and the school district's working to try to get another shelter open on the south side.
Well,
And I thought the Salvation Army was going to open up, and there was some church that's going to man it, but supposedly, according to Donnie Kiker, the fire department's going to man it. So, shit, I don't know.
Well, and everybody's getting confused as to whether or not, like, they can just come and sleep there, like home.
Well,
like,
well, you know, we don't have any sleeping equipment,
yeah.
but I guess they can throw a bedroll on the floor or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than sleeping outside in 6-degree weather.
Yeah.
They're certainly welcome to bring a sleeping bag or something.
Is it? Okay. Kim probably, female? There she comes. There she is. She's coming, Sheriff.
It's colder than a well digger. It's gonna be colder than a well digger behind. You know what a well digger is? Somebody that digs a water well.
Okay.
They get down so far, it gets cold down there. Of course, you get too far, you're in you know where.
Starts warming up a little.
Yeah.
You sure? Yep.
Hi, Kim.
No, it was traffic nearly
Well, the damn interstate's
backed up.
backed up for miles. I don't know where it's bottlenecked, but we were going to the meeting with FBI and the Border Patrol yesterday, and it was bottlenecked right at 1788, and we were late, so.
Yeah, I was coming from Midland, there was a wreck.
Yeah.
On the eastbound side, where was the wreck?
Over by Grandview.
It was
Really?
on the overpass, Grandview.
Well, well, hell, they're backed up past
Yeah,
1936.
they're exiting, trying.
Hell, that's 10
They
miles.
don't have no place to exit to.
That's 10 miles. Well, folks, I don't have a whole lot to say about the deal last night. Anyway, y'all tell me when you're ready.
Ready? Rolling.
Last night, just before 6 p.m., we got a call about a gunshot victim in the 13,900 block of Firewater. When we arrived, there was a 20-year-old individual that had been shot. They did begin CPR. The subject was transported by ambulance to Medical Center Hospital, and he succumbed to his injuries later. We deployed CID and CSI to the location. We found out later that an individual had been dropped off at ORMC emergency room, a 16-year-old male with a gunshot wound. The individual that dropped the subject off did not hang around. We are vigorously trying to find that individual right now. We have very little to go on to locate that subject. It is a female, we do know that. And we do not know the condition of the 16-year-old at this time. And we do have an identity on the deceased, and we can release the identity to you when we get done here with the interview. Shoot.
Was there any motive for the shooting?
We have an idea of what it may have been, but we don't have anything concrete at this time. We did have a vehicle that pulled up there. We do have the vehicle in our custody.
Pulled up where, Sheriff?
I'm sorry?
Vehicle pulled up where?
The vehicle that was used to drop the subject off at ORMC. We do have that vehicle in our custody. We are processing that vehicle. We did have casings, shell casings in the vehicle, and also on the ground out there. So apparently it was a gunfight of some sort. We don't have a motive at this time. We did talk to one individual last night that gave us some information, and some information of which we cannot corroborate. So we don't want to, hold that to a cause of the shooting at this time. But we may reach out to the public, maybe even later today, to see if we can get this individual that was driving the pickup that dropped the subject off at ORMC identified and located, so that we can, continue with our investigation. We do not believe the same individual that was in the pickup at the scene with the gunshot victim was the same individual that dropped the subject off at the hospital. So it's kind of confusing. There's lots of different angles to this incident, and we're going to work vigorously until we get those involved arrested.
Sheriff, when you say that shell casings were found at the scene and in the pickup truck, and you alluded to a gunfight, is that the same as saying that you've got two different types of shell casings?
I don't know. Yes, there are two different calibers, 9s and 40s. And I don't know which was where, but we do have two different
Does our
calibers.
victim have a criminal history?
I'm sorry?
Does our victim have a criminal history?
I don't know that. I can't. The 20-year-old,
Yes.
I can't honestly tell you. I don't know, and I haven't personally looked him up. But
And when you say you don't know the condition of the 16-year-old, I'm assuming that means you've not been able to interview him?
he is not in a condition where he can talk to us, is what we're being told. And hopefully, if he gets in a condition where he can talk to us, he will. We'd sure like to talk to him, but there's a good chance he won't.
And I'm assuming you've run the plates on the pickup. Any reason to believe that it was a stolen vehicle? Or?
We don't believe it was a stolen vehicle. No, not at this time.
Okay. And the 20-year-old, was he outside when he?
Yeah,
sustained
the
these
20-year-old was apparently a resident of the Firewater address, and the white pickup pulled up to that address. Again, for whatever reason, we don't know. We don't have any proof or corroboration as to why they pulled up there, but obviously somebody in the pickup had a gun, and somebody outside the pickup had a gun.
And so was it a drive-by, or did they get out of the?
No, there was apparently some communication, a conversation that transpired, and at some point somebody pulled a gun, and the shots were fired.
So why is this important to the sheriff's office? Does this have any specific, is there something that y'all are looking at, why this happened? Or, there's been, shootings before, but why is this important?
Well, in the last year or so, our shooting victims have been getting younger and younger, and the people doing the shooting have been getting younger and younger, and it's very concerning to us. And we've had conversations with other agencies about this issue. Last year we had a 14-year-old killed by two 16-year-olds during the snowstorm. Very concerning that's going on, and I think maybe some parents need to take heed and give a rip where their kids are, what they're doing, and who they're with, because this could be your kid.
Sheriff, do you think that the permitless carry has something to do with younger people being able to acquire
No.
firearms?
No, I do not. The permitless carry, I'm gonna say 99% of those individuals that are carrying are good citizens. We've got this other small percentage who are bad guys. It's just, if they tried to ban guns, ban ammunition, whatever, the bad guys are not gonna turn in their guns. They'll be the only ones left with them if they start trying to ban guns. But in that respect, we're not gonna pull up anybody's guns here in Ector County unless they're breaking the law.
Sheriff, is it accurate to say that you're seeing an increase in the number of weapons that are being taken from car burglaries or during car burglaries?
I think there has been, not necessarily in the county, but I'm pretty sure there has been in the city. And I'll tell you this, I know the OPD and ourselves alike sees stolen weapons all the time. It's just crazy. And not necessarily stolen from here, in this area. But a lot of these people are breaking into cars looking specifically for guns. I urge everybody, if you have a gun, if you carry a gun in your car, when you get home, take that gun out of your car. I realize maybe your insurance will pay for it or whatever, but we don't want these more guns out there on the street in the hands of irresponsible bad guys than we've already got. I mean, take those guns out of your car. It's not a lot of extra trouble. No trouble. No trouble to me. I take mine out every day. But don't leave your guns in your car. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So do you have somebody with the shooting victim at ORMC? Is he have a deputy there or anything?
No, we don't have anybody posted there at this time. The hospital will notify us if he becomes conscious and alert, and at that point we'll go and talk to him. Of course, we cannot officially interview him unless he's magistrated first, but we will be up there to talk to him and see if we can get some information. We need some more information to see exactly what happened, what went on, and get to the bottom of this.
I imagine you've spoken with family members from both.
Yes. The family members were there at the residence last night on Firewater of the deceased. In fact, there were quite a few individuals out there last night. Apparently, they're having some kind of gathering. There's no school right now, so I guess they were out there playing video games or whatever. And there was quite a few folks out there last night.
Prior to the shooting?
Prior to the shooting.
And then you've spoken with the 16-year-old's family as well?
Yes, they've been spoken to. Of course, they weren't there, but they have been spoken to, and the parents of the 20-year-old, they were ultimately cooperative when we were trying to get to the bottom of it. It's just that we don't have anybody except for maybe one person that saw what happened and what may have been he may have seen may not be exactly what happened because it was dark and from a distance it's hard to conceive what you may have saw. So and again, in a deal like that, it's kind of a scary situation when you walk outside and people are shooting each other. That'll cause your adrenaline to start flowing, and a lot of times when your adrenaline starts flowing, you see things that might not have happened.
So was this a neighbor or was this someone affiliated with the 20-year-old?
The individual that saw it was there at the house. It was one of the juveniles there at the house. We don't feel like they were connected to the shooting at all. But anyway, again, we may send something out later asking for some help trying to locate an individual. We're diligently trying to locate this individual right now, so
That person and the girl?
with the individual, the two individuals, well, again, we're not sure the same individual that was at the shooting, female, was the same one that dropped the subject off at the hospital. We're not certain it's the same female. So, we're trying to get that cleared up. If not, we'll be looking for two females, but, right
Is there a
now,
chance there were other people in the vehicle?
there's a chance of it. We can't confirm or deny that. Right now, all we know is that there were at least two people in the vehicle, so,
And so you don't actually know if either the girls or the 16-year-old was actually the gunman?
that's exactly right. That's exactly
Or
right.
somebody else entirely?
We don't know who in the vehicle, was firing the weapon from inside the vehicle at this time, and, we're diligently trying to find out who was in that vehicle at the time of the shooting. So, just bear with us and hopefully, I mean, we'd like to get this sewed up today, but it's gonna be a few days probably before we can, actually get something settled up on this thing.
So what was the 16-year-old, how was he related to the 20-year-old?
We do not know. We do not know. And as far as I know, I don't know that any of the other individuals that were there at the scene knew who this individual was in the pickup. We haven't got that confirmed, because apparently when the pickup pulled up, the 20-year-old went out there to meet the pickup, so we don't know. We don't know the relationship of that meeting.
Is there any other physical evidence at the scene? For example, a baggie of heroin?
No, we did not find any illicit or illegal things there at the actual location of the shooting. So, again, it was a late night, and
These kids.
and gosh dang, I mean, the crime, they're just getting younger and younger. It's just crazy to me. Crazy. And don't leave your guns in your cars. It's absolutely amazing to me that people leave the guns in their car, especially if it's a handgun. I mean, you just pick that sucker up, put it in your pocket or whatever.
Once you find out who the suspect is, or that confirm who the shooter is, will you investigate his parents?
We'll find out or attempt to find out where they obtained that weapon. Yes, absolutely. And I don't know. You can read all the books you want to, but you can do all the training you want to, but you can't train people to be good parents. And I'll say this: you raise your kids the best you can, and have good parents. Sometimes the kids they got their own mind made up, and they do what they want to do. They're not all. It's not 100% deal. If you raise your kids right, they're going to be good people. So, but a lot of times it starts when they're young, and it's society now. Speaking of which, when I was in school, when I was in first, second, third, and fourth grade, if I got in trouble at school, my butt was going to be blistered when I got home, because that teacher could call my parents, and they believed that teacher was telling them the truth. And you know what? She was telling the truth. So I got my butt blistered. The teachers don't have that anymore, and they don't have the backing of the school administration, as far as I know, nor the parents. Somebody's thing just fell out of my pocket.
That's me.
It's still working?
No, I turned off. I think the battery popped out.
Did it? Oh, it didn't. But it's off. It's back on.
Alright, we're good then.
But anyway, it's low.
Y'all have anything else?
One more question with, ECISD having issues with kids, students bringing guns to class and actually have it deployed. Is there something that's concerning to you, that you would like to, have some kind of forum to discuss the school's direction and to, keeping a really close eye on students and when they bring firearms to school?
Well, I think there needs to be a community discussion and have a school district and police department and us and all, anybody and everybody we can get there. We need to fix this problem. Those kids are getting these guns from somewhere. And if they're not getting them from their parents, they're stealing them or getting them from other kids. And here's the deal. If your kid is living in your house and they're not paying you rent, you can go in there and look through everything in that kid's belongings. Because that's your kid and they're staying there as your kid. Go in there and see what they got. I mean, go in there, look through everything they got. You have that right. And if you have a problem with it, and your kid's got a problem with it, you can call us and we'll come out there and advise that child.
Social media forums, I mean, if you look at these kids' social media forums, I mean, they're like grown kids, they're showing stuff out there that we could go and arrest them for tomorrow.
I mean, it's very concerning, and I really feel for the school district because, I mean, it's almost every day. They're having a child threatening to shoot up school, taking a gun to school.
Beating teachers up.
Yeah, assaulting teachers. It's ridiculous. It's sad, very sad. And I wish I knew the exact answer, but there needs to be a discussion, a community-wide discussion. And I'll tell you this: if they had that discussion, who's going to show up to it? The parents that give a rip.
They're usually not the ones with the issue.
Yeah. Even when my kids were growing up, it was hard to find parents that gave a rip where their kids were, what they're doing, who they're with. Just drove my one daughter crazy that I had to go meet the parents, talk to them, find out where they lived, what they did, find out something about them. But a lot of times, I talked to a teacher, an older lady, sweet lady. I won't mention her name, but she's well known. And she pretty much said that's just a place for people to send their kids, keep them out of her hair, keep them out of the parents' hair. And said some of those kids want to be there, most of them don't. Sad world we live in. I got a place for a bunch of them out here. And a lot of them need to be there.
Speaking of that, if, one of the big issues is, right now, for making those threats in school, it's considered a Class C misdemeanor. Do you think that the state legislature should get involved and increase that to a felony and maybe give them a trip to detention?
Well, I've been preaching for years, Danny. Consequences for crimes committed. When you slap them on the hand, that don't hurt. You need to make it hurt. Somebody gets put in prison on 10 years prison sentence, they're back here in a year, maybe 2. And they'll be back in our jail after they committed another crimes. Consequences. We got to be tougher on this stuff. Make the consequences hurt. But I'll tell you this, a lot of those guys we got in that jail over there, 2 years off their lives, nothing. They don't give a rip about their family or nothing else, or they wouldn't be where they're at. If they wanted to be their family, they wouldn't commit crimes. Consequences, crimes committed. You got to make them hurt, or they're going to keep doing it. Read the Bible. It says that in the Bible. There's got to be consequences, or you'll never stop it. And I've been preaching this for a long time. build more prisons, open the ones you close back up. Told that to the governor, lieutenant governor. Apparently up to now, they haven't listened, but I'm gonna get mad talking about it.
We don't wanna mess up.
Not at y'all, it just pisses me off that our state government and our federal government, suck.
Ours too.
It is sad state of affairs. You know, this all started years ago, even with the mental health stuff. They started shutting down mental hospitals, because they thought all this new medication is going to solve everything. Well, you can't make them people take their cotton picking medicine. You can't make them do it. So then they end up back, with us or whatever, or on the street. And then, it costs a lot of money to house inmates. Well, so the state starts cutting funding to the prison system, closing down prisons because it's costing too much. But then they make these other laws, It was only used to be 1, 2, and 3 third degree felony. Well, now we got this 4th degree felony, state jail felony, which should be called the joke felony. Because if you're not already on probation, you're not on probation or whatever on another charge, you're going to get probation for that charge. Up to 2 years. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's just to save the state money. Well, you're saving the state money, but you're costing citizens, good citizens of this state, money, because these people are breaking into houses, breaking into cars, and costing us money to house them in our county jails. The state needs to step up and take care of their obligation to the good people of this state.
So basically, it's a trickle-down thing.
It is absolutely a trickle down.
With break-ins, and stealing firearms.
Stealing firearms.
It does, it increases their insurance premiums.
Absolutely. Just think, if the crime rate went down, maybe your homeowner's insurance would go down 25% or something. Imagine that. Wouldn't that be nice? And a burglar of habitation. Going in and breaking into your house, going through your drawers, your chest of drawers, or your dresser's drawers, and going through your most intimate personal items, your underwear drawer. Well, mama and the kids, when they get home, that's going to be scary to them. Somebody's invaded their privacy, invaded their home. That's not only a monetary loss, but it's an emotional crime. Mama and the kids are going to be scared. They're going to be upset. And then they give them probation. They give them deferred adjudication, or they give them 20 years in prison, and then they're back in 2 years. They're back in 2 years. There's no justice. There's no justice for good people of this state. Occasionally there is some justice, but and see, if we keep more of these people in prison for their good, long, healthy sentences, they won't be back in their local communities committing crimes back in their county jail. It's so simple to me. Of course, you got a bunch of educated idiots down there in Austin, Texas that can't get this through their thick skull. You can quote me on that. Educated idiots in Austin, Texas. You can quote me, Sheriff Mike Griffiths.
Anything else, Sheriff?
I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas, very safe and Merry Christmas. And we've got our West Annex open Thursday evening through at least Sunday afternoon. If anybody's cold, they don't have any heat, you sure come out there. We're going to get some snacks and water. We don't have any bedding or anything of that nature, but you can bring your blanket or sleeping bag and just throw down on the floor, and we're going to have somebody out there to take care of everybody. And coffee, we'll have some coffee. We don't want anybody cold. We don't want anybody freezing to death. And if you know somebody that needs a warm place to stay, bring them out there to the 2261 Sycamore in West Odessa, and we'll keep them warm. Merry Christmas.
That's Kellis Turner Park.
Kellis Turner Park, adjacent to Kellis Turner Park and Buddy West Elementary. Yes.
Cool. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank y'all. We had more to give you. I could talk all day about some of this shit and I could talk for weeks about it. Cause damn, they piss me off.